Good morning, pre-Ks. Come on down. Find a spot you like a lot. 1, 2, 3. Find a spot you like a lot. Listen to me. Find a spot you like a lot. 3, 2, 1. Find a spot you like a lot. We'll have some fun. I'm so glad you're back. I hope you had a lovely weekend. I hope you had a wonderful Easter. It was a beautiful sunny day. I hope you got to find some eggs and spend time with your family at a special dinner and maybe got some Easter treats from that Easter bunny who came hopping your way. But that's over and another holiday's right around the bend. Let's find out what's happening today. The last time I saw you was Friday. The last time I saw you was Friday, but that's not today. I never see you on the S days, Saturday and Sunday. We always have a break from school on the S days, whether it's here at Pied Piper or home online. So today's the day that comes after the weekend. See if you remember what comes after Sunday. Can you remember the first day of the week? Did you get it right? Monday, good. Monday, good job. Monday's at the beginning of the week. Yes, it's Monday, you got it. Monday. Monday's at the beginning of the week. We're at the beginning of another week here at Pied Piper School. The numbers keep going. We made double digits on Friday. After 9, it's awfully fine. Magical things start to happen. And we have double digit 10 here on Friday. I would say it again. After 10, we get into the terrible teens. The terrible teens are the hardest numbers, I think, of all. Because after 10, it should be one teen. It's a 1 in the front and a 1 in the back. It should be one teen, but we call it 11. Then comes a 1 in the front and a 2 in the back. That's a good pattern, but it's not 2 teen, it's 12. And today's the day that comes after the number 12. Today's the day that has a 1 in the front and a 3 in the back. What number is it? Did you get it? Let's put it in Kathy's car. When there's a 1 in the front seat and a 3 in the back seat. 1, 3, 1, 3, 13. When there's a 1 in the front seat and a 3 in the back seat. 1, 3, 1, 3. That's our 13th day. The 13th day of what month? We're still in those April showers. They come your way. They bring the flowers that bloom in May, so don't cry in April. It's going to be a lot of rain out there. It's raining today. We're going to be able to put the rain on our calendar, and I hear thunder and lightning coming our way. That's okay. We found out what thunder and lightning are. They can't hurt us. The thunder is just very loud, and the lightning is very bright, but it helps the garden grow. So we're going to put that down for today because it is a thunder and lightning kind of day. And we had rain last week. Let's count how many rainy days we've had so far. 1, 2. Did we have any rain over the weekend? I think we had a little rain Friday night. Remember? Friday night there was a little rain. I was sitting on my porch. Little rain on Friday night. We'll have to put it there. Saturday was nice. So four rainy days. You never know. We might beat the record. Well, today, Kathy's talking to you about the Passover story. It's one of my favorite stories of all time. I love the Passover story. It's got everything to make for a great story. It's got a hero. Yeah, that would be Moses. And it's got a bad villain. Oh yeah, that would be the Pharaoh. You always have to have a bad villain in every story. The Pharaoh's the villain in this story. So we have a hero and a villain and lots of action. The Jewish people leaving, having to leave Egypt where they did all the hard work. Well, it started a long time ago in a place called Egypt. Egypt is far away. We've learned about many places around our globe. This story takes place in Egypt, and there was a mean king. There's always a mean king in every story. We've talked about so many mean kings. We had King James. Think of all the stories you know. There's always a mean king. Well, there was this mean king, and his name was Pharaoh. Yeah, he was the king, and he was the king of the country, and he loved big, tall buildings. Big, tall buildings, like in New York City, big, tall buildings. They were called pyramids. And these pyramids were like a triangle, and they were made out of blocks. And these blocks were built together, kind of like when you build it with blocks at your house or here at Pied Piper School. The blocks would go higher and higher, and that's what made these pyramids. They were huge. But somebody had to make the blocks, and the blocks were made out of mud. You put mud, you put water in the mud, water in the dirt, and you add some straw, pieces of straw, and you mix it all around, and you put these blocks out in the sun to dry, and then you start building them, just like when you build with blocks. So the Jewish people were the ones building those blocks, and they worked hard every single day, and sometimes at night, and they didn't get any money. Wait a minute, people who work hard and get no money, remember what they're called? Slaves. We learned about slaves that were here in America, remember? And Abraham Lincoln, he set those people free, those slaves who they took over from Africa on the ship. We had slaves here in America. Well, the Pharaoh had slaves too. He didn't pay them any money. He wouldn't let them leave. And they had to work whenever he said so. They were not happy. So the Pharaoh knew that they could get big and strong. So he decided that he'd have a proclamation. That's a big announcement. And he said that all Jewish little baby boys had to go. Could be no more Jewish baby boys, because he was afraid they were going to grow into big, strong Jewish men. And then they could take over his army, because his army wasn't as big as the population of Jewish people. So he got a little worried. So he wanted all the Jewish babies, boy babies, to go. Well, there was a family, and they had a baby named Moses. He was a little boy. And they decided that they didn't want anything to happen to him, so they dressed him up like a girl. Yeah, a girl. I guess they put him in girl things, wrapped him in girl-colored blankets, and that worked for a while, but then he started to look like a boy. And they decided they had to do something to keep him safe. So they put him in this basket. They put him in a basket, you know, like a basket that's waterproof, and they put him on the River Nile. They put this little baby Moses, oh, there he is. There's the baby. He went on the River Nile. And they watched him to make sure he was safe, because they knew that the Pharaoh's daughter always went down to the Nile River to wash her beautiful, long, black hair. She loved to wash her beautiful, long, black hair. So there she was at the Nile River washing her hair, and she saw this basket. And she heard a noise, wah, wah, wah. Well, that's not something that belongs in the Nile River, so she sent her servants, the people who worked for her. She didn't go, but she sent her servants out to that river to get that baby. And the baby came back. Oh, she always wanted a baby. Oh, a baby, a baby. Everybody's so happy when they see a baby. So she decided to keep the baby. But when she picked it up, the baby went, wah, wah, wah. Well, like sometimes babies do. And she looked at the baby, and the baby went, wah, wah, wah. Well, she didn't know what to do with the baby. So she patted the baby, and the baby went, wah, wah, wah. Well, this was not going to do. She didn't know what to do with the baby, so she needed someone to help her. And who came out from behind the hedges but Moses' mother and sister Miriam? They came right out, and they said, oh, we'll take care of the baby for you. We'll watch that baby for you. Don't you worry, we know all about babies. And she said, okay. So Moses grew up in the palace with the Pharaoh as his dad, his grandpa. And he stayed there, and he grew up. But he was really a little Jewish boy. So when he got older and he started walking around, he saw the Jewish people working out, making those big, huge bricks to make the big pyramids. And he went to the Pharaoh and he said, that's not fair. That doesn't seem right to me. That hurts my heart. I don't like that. Why are you doing that? The Pharaoh said, look, these are the people making my pyramids. I don't care what you think. Too bad. Well, Moses didn't like that at all. He decided to leave. So he left. He left. He went off and became a shepherd. He became a shepherd for a long time. He was out there for 20 years. That's a long time he was out there being a shepherd. And he stayed with his sheep. He got married. He had children. Then one day, he was sitting with his sheep, and the bush next to him went onto fire. And he didn't know where the fire came from, but the bush started to burn. And a voice came out and said, Moses, you must go back and help your people. Well, now Moses didn't want to go. He didn't want to go. He wanted to stay where he was. But the bush said, you must go. I will have your brother Aaron go with you, but you must go. So he went with his brother. And they went back to the Pharaoh and said, look, you got to let these people go. The bush told us. The bush told us you have to let these people go. Would the Pharaoh say, no, 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 I won't let them go. No, 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 I won't let them go. So they went back and they said, look, he's not letting them go. And the Lord said, you know what? I'm going to send terrible things to happen to the Egyptian people, not the Jewish people. Terrible things. And he sent red water. Ooh, nobody wants to drink red water. Ooh. And he sent frogs, hopping frogs all over the Jewish people, but not the Jewish people. Frogs jumping all over the Egyptians, but not the Jewish people. They were passed over. And he sent flies and gnats swarming all around the Egyptians. And the army said, would you stop this? This is yucky. We don't want this. Let them go. Let them go. So the Pharaoh said, okay, you can go. But then he thought about it, and he changed his mind. As they were putting their things in bags, he changed his mind and said, no, you can't go. So more terrible things started to happen. The water went away. They had things coming on their body, and there was thunder and lightning. There was hail. There were grasshoppers. There was darkness. And after each terrible thing, he would tell the people they could go, and then he told a lie and said, no, 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 you can't go. Every time he told a lie. So then something terrible, the most terrible of all, was going to happen if he didn't let them go. That they were going to take his son like he wanted to take the Jewish boys. They were going to take his son, and that's when he said, okay, you can go, but you can go, you've got to go quickly. Really hurry. You got to move right now. So the Jewish people loaded everything they could into wagons, and they took off with Moses, but they didn't have time for that bread to get bigger and fluffier. It stayed flat like a cracker. It's called a matzah. So off they went. They took off, and the Pharaoh sat in his palace, and he watched. He watched as they went, and he started thinking, well, who's going to do all the work around here? The army said, no, not us. No, we're not doing it. Who's going to build the pyramids? No, not us, said the army. No, not us. Well, who was going to be a slave? No one. Well, he decided right then and there, if that army wasn't going to do the work, that army better go get those Jewish people back. So off he sent the army, and they had chariots. They had wagons with horses. They could go very, very fast. And the Jewish people, they just had their carts. They were walking with their feet. They went very, very slow. And the army caught up with them just as they got to the Red Sea, a big body of water, the Red Sea. What were they going to do? They couldn't swim over it. They couldn't go under it. What were they going to do? So Moses said, what should we do? And a voice said, Moses, lift up your staff. That's a stick. Moses, lift up your staff. And he did. He lifted up his walking stick high in the air, and that river opened. There was a tunnel right in the middle of that Red Sea. A tunnel was made, and the Jewish people quickly went through that tunnel. They ran to the other side. They made it to the other side. But here came the army. The army was coming faster. And they saw the tunnel, and they didn't know if they wanted to go in or not. But the Pharaoh said, go get those Jewish people and bring them back to Egypt. So they did. They went off into that tunnel. And as soon as they got to the middle, Moses said, what should I do? What should I do? And the voice said, Moses, lower your staff. And he did. And he did. And the river, the ocean sea closed up again. It closed up again. And all those army people on chariots had to swim back to the other side. Back to the other side. When they reached the other side, they sang a song of triumph. Oh, because finally the Pharaoh had to let my people go. What a great story. One of my favorite stories. And the Seder dish helps us remember all those parts of the story. The egg, the beitzah in Hebrew. That is all about the new life they had when they finally made it to the other shore. The bitter herbs, the maror, and the parsley, the karpas, and the lettuce, the shartzara, those are all very bitter and yucky tasting because their life in Egypt was yucky. But they use that parsley and they dip it in the salty water to remember the tears of the Jewish people, the tears that the Jewish people shed when they were over there. And the sharosat that has grape juice in it and nuts and apples all mixed together, just like the dirt and the straw and the water that the Jewish people had to use to make those bricks. And the bone, the zerohat, that reminds them of how awful it was until they got to that other side and had new life. The story of Passover. And our book today is Let My People Go. And you're going to help me read it because it has different parts. And you are going to be the part of the chorus. The chorus are the people that do it all together. So wherever you see the blue writing, I think it's blue. We'll have to look in the storybook. I think it's the blue words. When you see the blue words, that's when you are going to say that part. Are you ready? Let's check it out. This is the story of Let My People Go. It's by Tilda Balsley. The pictures, illustrations are by Eileen Richards. Okay, let's see. Let my people go. All right, so you're the chorus, you're the blue. So when you see the blue writing, you're going to help me out. I'll be the narrator, tells a story, and I'll have one voice for Moses, that's the purple type, And the mean voice for the Pharaoh with the red type. And the Egyptians, that's the green type. Let's see, you can help me read this story. All right. A burning bush, and it began. There's the burning bush. There's Moses with his sheep. And God told Moses, here's my plan. But Moses was a simple man. He said, I don't think I can. Now you read, poor Moses, poor Moses. God wouldn't hear the answer no and said, with Aaron you will go, that's his brother, to lead my people from the Pharaoh. Tell him that your God said so. Oh, off he goes. So Moses spoke to the mean Pharaoh. Our God says, let my people go. And the Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. A big mistake. He didn't know that God would deal a mighty blow. Oh, this is your part right here. Ready? A plague, a plague, a plague! Exclamation point. Their God has turned the water red. No more fish. They all look dead. What's some water we could drink? We cannot stand this awful stink. Then Moses spoke to the mean Pharaoh. Our God says, let my people go. And the Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. Well, this is your part. Here we go. A plague, a plague, a plague. Frogs were Pharaoh's next nightmare, he cried. They're hopping everywhere. Tell God to send the frogs away. Then you can go without delay. They're in my oven, in my bed. I think a frog's jumping on my head. So Moses said the frogs would go. Then he spoke to the mean Pharaoh. Our God says, let my people go. But the Pharaoh changed his mind. He lied. He said, no, no, no. Oh, my. Your part, your part. A plague, a plague, a plague. Egyptians cried, oh, no. Now gnats, covering our cows, our dogs, and our cats, covering us from head to toe. Please, Pharaoh, let my people go. So Moses spoke to that mean Pharaoh. God says, let the people go. But the Pharaoh shouted, you can be the Pharaoh too, mean voice. No, no, no. Here's your part. A plague, a plague, a plague. God spread the ground with nasty flies. But Pharaoh's answered were only lies. I'll let your people leave this place. Just get those flies out of my face. More lies. When Moses said, it's done, we'll go, the Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. Your part. A plague, a plague, a plague. Soon animals began to die. The Egyptians pleaded, hear our cry. Pharaoh, Pharaoh, why, oh why? But Pharaoh still would not comply. Then Moses spoke to that mean Pharaoh. Our God says, let my people go. But the Pharaoh shouted, what? I don't hear you. No. Louder, no. No, a plague, a plague, a plague. Egyptians moaned and cried in dread to see their skin turn purpley red. Nasty boils began to spread, but Pharaoh was an old hard head. When Moses spoke to mean Pharaoh, our God says, let my people go. But the Pharaoh shouted, no, no, no. You ready? A plague, a plague, a plague. God continued the campaign with hail and thunder and mighty rain. There'd never been a worse event. It looked like the Pharaoh might relent. He might let them go. When Moses spoke to mean Pharaoh, our God says, let my people go. But the Pharaoh answered, no, no, no. Your turn. A plague, a plague, a plague. Terrible things. Now God sent down a new command, and Moses with his outstretched hand sent hungry locusts, grasshoppers, through the land. Said Pharaoh, this I cannot stand. Leave Egypt now, as you have planned. But when the people packed up to go, the Pharaoh changed his mind. He lied and shouted, no, no, no. A plague, a plague, a plague. Then Egypt had 3 days of night, while the Israelites, the Jewish people, enjoyed God's light. So Pharaoh, tired of the fight, said, wives and children all can go, but you cannot take your livestock, your animals, though. He really didn't mean to, so soon he started shouting, no, 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 a plague, a plague, a plague. God, through Moses, said, beware, this plague is bad beyond compare. Every firstborn son, Egyptian son, royal born to the poorest one. But sons of Israel I will spare. So listen, you must prepare. They must put a red mark over their door, and nothing bad happens to them. More and more they were passed over, passed over. And as God struck this final blow, Pharaoh shouted, go, go, go. What a great story. Thanks for helping me read Let My People Go.